Hi everyone, Dr. Murray from Pain Free and Fit and Posture Size. Today we are going to talk about why most rotator cuff exercises are actually dangerous for you and what you can do to improve them so that they help keep your rotator cuff and shoulder healthy, pain-free, and fit. So many of us out there are doing rotator cuff exercises with the idea that the rotator cuff strengthening program that we use is going to decrease our chance of injury, help us to get over shoulder injuries, and be preventative as well as pain relieving. Unfortunately, what most personal trainers, many generic exercise programs given by PTs and doctors don't explain to you is that the cuff needs to be customized in terms of its dysfunction with its rotator cuff strengthening exercises. For instance, if you're using a generic internal and external rotation, whether you're using a band or dumbbells at different angles, and you're not setting the position that's unique for your distortion in your shoulder, you're only going to be strengthening the rotator cuff to hold that abnormal position. The rotator cuff joins the upper arm bone and the shoulder blade. If there's a problem posturally and with movement of our shoulder blade, a lot of people have rounded shoulders, they have tipped forward shoulders, they have shrugged shoulders, they have winged shoulder blades. If we're not positioning the shoulder in a correct state while we're using that rotator cuff strengthening exercises, we're going to be positioning that shoulder and strengthening its ability to maintain that abnormal position. That winds up decreasing the amount of force that's being able to be produced by the rotator cuff, as well as imparting injurious forces into it. If we don't address the other component of the shoulder complex, which is the upper arm position, many people have a tendency to have a forward sliding or anterior glide syndrome, where their upper arm slides forward in their shoulder socket with pushing and pulling movements. Many people with overhead movements have a tendency to have an upward glide, where the upper arm turns upwards or slides up, pinching the top of the cuff and the bursa in the shoulder. If we're not aware of that positioning, or let's say an internal rotation tendency, where a lot of people when they stand, the crook of the elbow is not forward but actually positioned in, so there's an internal rotation of the upper arm, that's actually going to come out when we're doing our rotator cuff work. If we're doing, let's say, a T isometric position or a Y isometric position and holding that, whether we're standing, whether we're laying face down, if we're not conscious of maintaining that correct position of our upper arm tendency and correcting our unique distortion while we're doing that, tendency is going to come out. As the arm comes up, let's say we have an upward glide, it's going to slide upwards. That's going to be strengthening the cuff and all the periscapular muscles that control the shoulder blade and the upper arm to maintain that position when we're doing things like shoulder presses, when we're doing chins and pulls, when we're doing overhead throws. That's all going to come out. So if you're not conscious of your unique distortions, you're going to be strengthening your body's ability to maintain those distortions. With a stronger cuff holding a dysfunctional state in the shoulder, that's going to wind up with increasing your risk of injury. It's going to also wind up in decreasing the force production that you can put through that shoulder joint, because every joint in the body has an ideal kinematic relationship with itself in terms of muscular force productions, balance between antagonists and agonists, and a unique positional change that's dynamic. The shoulder is such a dynamic moving joint in all kinds of ranges of motion. It needs to be centered both in the shoulder blade in ideal position and with the upper arm in the socket in ideal position. So from now on, if you haven't yet done so, get a body analysis done on your shoulder complex. If you have a good rehab expert near you, work with them. If not, check out our Posture Size or painfreeandfit.com websites. We've got a free body analysis. It allows you to check out what your shoulder mechanics are, what perhaps your torso mechanics are, dysfunctions in terms of postural abnormalities and tendencies that lead to abnormal shoulder mechanics. The body's an integrated unit from our feet to our head, so you really need to know what your unique posture and movement abnormalities and stability tendencies are so you can plug them into any exercise, including rotator cuff strengthening. If you like this video on stabilization of the rotator cuff and figuring out how to stay away from dangerous rotator cuff exercises, feel free to subscribe to our channel. We've got a lot of great videos out there that will help you do such. If you'd like to help me share this valuable information with others, give me a thumbs up below. Questions or comments, write in. As always, I'll do my best to answer them. And remember, if you're looking for a customized program for your shoulder pain, check out our shoulder pain healing exercise program at painfreeandfit.com. It has all the analysis you need, coordination exercises, flexibility, balance, how to remove scar tissue, how to strengthen and condition your shoulder so you can get back into the sports and activities you like without aggravating yourself. I hope this video on avoiding dangerous rotator cuff exercises helps you with your shoulder pursuits.